To market, to market. Put some fresh fruit in the cart, some berries and herbs. You'll need some vegetables too. Don't forget the breakfast cereal, the potato chips, those chocolate snacks you like so much. On the list too, nuts and fruit drinks, and of course, ice cream for dessert. But when it all goes away, the shelves will look like this. What could make all of this disappear? Find out next on Chef's Appeal. Apis mellifera, the honeybee. Sure, you may see her flying around in the summertime, even admire her fluttering wings as she dances from blossom to blossom. Or perhaps you've swatted her away, thinking you were avoiding a sting. Well, think again about the industrious honeybee. Without bees, 1/3 of everything we eat will simply not exist.
Honeybees are essential for our food supply. Without honeybees, we wouldn't have apples, we wouldn't have blueberries, we wouldn't have pumpkins, and also we wouldn't have things that rely on honeybee pollination in order to make things like alfalfa, for instance. So our milk industry and our beef industry.
The honeybee is nature's great pollinator. Without its work, most of what we eat would never grow to be anything more than this, a flower.
What happens when the bee comes here and sits on this flower, the pollen is up here in this part of the flower. They rub their body on that pollen and they pollinate the flower to another.
This is Dave Hackenberg. For more than 40 years, he's had his hands and heart in the hives.
I've been keeping bees since 1962.
Today, Dave Hackenberg travels the country, trucking 80 million or so working honeybees to farms such as this one, to pollinate the foods that we eat every day.
Everywhere from California to Florida to Maine to New York, we're pollinating crops for farmers that have to have our bees.
We have a saying in the beekeeping community that you know you're a beekeeper the first time you open a beehive and you get stung, and it gets in your blood and you know instantly you're a beekeeper. And that really is true. I mean, you open a hive of bees and you see these 50,000 sisters working in cooperation. They talk to each other through smells, they talk to each other through a dance language. And so here you see this huge level of cooperation that's just inspiring.
Today, Dave Hackenberg and 8 million of his hardest working partners are in southern Pennsylvania to pollinate the fruit at LaRue Orchards.
So literally by accident, which makes them natural at what they do.
Yep.
Chef David Guas out today to find out firsthand about the value of the honeybees.
It's about respect for the farmer, it's about respect for the crop and its cycle, where the bees play into that. It's such a delicate thing.
The chef made a name for himself in New Orleans, in Washington, D.C., and across the nation. Now he's on his own at the Bayou Bakery in Arlington, Virginia.
Sort of a standard pie dough. Thanks for having us out here today.
Well, hey, let's go on out.
Chef David out today at the orchard of John LaRue. 600 acres among the rolling countryside in Pennsylvania. Hills bursting with blossoms, cherries, peaches, apples, each bloom awaiting the arrival of a worker bee.
What are we walking through right now as far as the variety?
Okay, this is a solid block of Golden Delicious.
Every one of these blossoms, more or less, is going to be an apple at harvest time?
If we have that many on, that tree will be broken in half. It seems as if blossoms, buds come out in about 3 different stages. They always call the first one out the king bud, and that gives you the larger apple.
And bringing obviously the bees, which we're talking about, into the picture here. Give me an idea coming to one blossom, collecting, and going to the very next.
Correct.
And just keep doing that.
But I think it does take more than one visit of a bee to have a set for a...
Per blossom?
Yes, I think in apples they want at least 2 visits.
So this is next to impossible for anything other than a bee to actually...
I would say yes, you definitely would need bees.
One healthy hive of honeybees can cross-pollinate 25 million flowers in a single day.
Is Dave going to be around? Or
I hope Dave's going to be around.
Yeah.
You know how on rainy days, these beekeepers, they just, they want to head for the shed.
let's go see if he's up on the hill here.
The anther, that long filament on the flower, holds the grains of pollen. The bee must carry that yellow pollen to the stigma, the tender center of the flower, where, with some luck, it will be fertilized and become fruit in the summer.
As you can see, he's out looking at his bees. This is Chef David Hackenberg.
David,
Pleasure to meet you.
nice to meet you too.
Yeah.
Let's get you suited up and take a look at some of them.
That'd be great.
Okay.
That'd be great.
Have you ever had a veil on before? A bee
No.
veil? Yeah, we got you a little jacket veil here you can put on, and
So no pants?
no pants.
No full suits?
We're gonna give you, get you started here real.
All right.
That'll keep all the girls out, the honeybee girls, that is.
Yeah, right.
Because we think that bees do not see shapes well, but instead
Excellent.
react to colors, the beekeeper's suit practically disappears from the bee's vision.
We're just gonna take a look at what's going on inside the beehive. Look at the brood and give you
Tour.
a little tour, yeah. Since
it.
you've never seen the inside of a beehive before, we'll
Sunday open house.
some of the open house, that's right.
Beautiful.
So we're gonna give them a little bit of smoke in our smoker here.
Yeah, tell me a little bit about that. I mean, what's that?
The smoke calms the bees down, and
Is it the scent? Is it the cloudiness?
it kind of drives them back, just like it drives you and I back.
All right. Well, let's go check it out.
Let's go have a look.
So how many do we have here? This is
Well, there's 4 hives on each pallet, and
Okay.
there's 8 hives on this setting. And inside these beehives, there's maybe 20,000 bees this time of year.
And what would be an alarming sight for you coming
To
into
open
this
up
right
this
now?
beehive and have no bees in it.
Yeah, which is what you have.
And we have seen that happen many, many times, yes, in the last couple of years. So
Hives empty, the bees gone, disappeared. It has come to be called CCD, Colony Collapse Disorder. A beehive consists of 100,000 or so wax hexagons, constructed back to back and suspended in panels.
I'm gonna shake the bees off of there.
Oh yeah, that's always good.
And we have a little bit of honey in here, and we'll get you a little of that fresh honey in out here, and you can just take that in your finger and give that a try.
It's very floral.
Tastes like apple blossom smell?
Tastes like flowers.
Yep, okay.
It's a beautiful thing. Wow.
Each colony its own city. The females are the worker bees. They fly out to the flowers, bring back the nectar, make the honey.
You can see all the pollen, and you can see, of course, a lot of this is probably apple pollen, but these bees have been to California a couple months ago.
So we got
So
almonds,
almond
right?
pollination, and maybe some citrus pollen in here. It came from Florida.
Nice.
This colony of bees will take somewhere between 250 and 400 pounds of honey or some kind of carbohydrates to keep that colony surviving for a year.
The average worker bee in her lifetime will fly over 55,000 miles, will bring back to the hive about 1 teaspoon of honey, can carry her weight in pollen on a single trip.
The average life of a honeybee normally is about 6 weeks. About half its life it's spent inside this hive, doing cleaning up chores and feeding young and so on. Then it goes out and flies and basically works itself to death. Unfortunately, with CCD, something is going wrong, and the life of the honeybee has been cut short. And eventually there's no adults left because they can't live long enough.
Right.
CCD is striking more than 1 in 3 commercial beehives and countless wild hives. It's not just here in the US. Empty hives are showing up in Canada, Europe, Japan, Australia.
But something here in the last several years has changed. Something is shortening up their lifespan, and basically they're disappearing. The honeybee is the barometer of the environment. There's something out there that beehive is bringing back that is causing it.
From who knows where.
Some of these beehives that they're sampling, they're finding as high as 25 and 30 insecticides in one sample of pollen,
Jeez.
25, 30 fungicides in that same sample. I understand, I have a good idea why the bees are dying or disappearing.
Right.
But at the same time, I wonder what it's doing, to me and you.
Sure.
And I'm concerned about my grandchildren and this next generation.
Of course.
Scientists do not yet know the exact cause of CCD. Most research points to human interference of one sort or another. Insecticides, global warming, agribusiness, monoculture, all as contributing factors.
Is there anything that you would say to an individual that they can do I mean, is the answer planting things in your backyard that attracts bees? What is it?
Well, planting things that attracts bees is very important, but you as a homeowner need to take a look at what you're using in your own environment around your own home, because you can plant all the flowers you want for the bees, but at the same time you're out there using products that are going to wipe out the insects, the beneficial insects, as well as the ones that you're trying to kill. You're just defeating your own purpose.
Sure.
Let's take a walk over here and see if we can find some bees flying around. Oh, right here we have a bee visiting the flower.
Mm-hmm. It's such a delicate process as well.
It really is. It's nature at work.
Well, I really appreciate you having me out here.
Yep.
And
glad to have you and glad to be here.
Sharing your wisdom and expertise with me. It's really been an eye-opener.
Well, we thank you for your time.
I appreciate it.
The chef has seen the bees at work. Now to take a look at the market.
Hey, man.
Morning, David.
How are you?
Great. How about
Good
yourself?
to see you, Coach. So I'm here to obviously start shopping a little bit and show the consumer how we would be affected if we were without honeybees.
Well, I'd have to say this would be a great place to start then. Blackberries, blueberries, raspberries, cherries. We got some strawberries as well.
Mm-hmm.
All of those dependent upon pollination of the honeybee.
I didn't realize that herbs were affected as well and rely on the bees to pollinate.
Well,
You know?
pretty much anything that has a flower.
Right. We got some apples over here too, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's huge.
Talk about, beyond this apple, what are the other ancillary products?
Apple sauce right off the bat for kids, apple juice, all the fruit snacks.
I think if you look at most of the juices,
Sure.
the base
Always
is
has
apple juice.
We got some peaches over here too. Some avocados behind us.
Same thing.
Oh yeah.
No guacamole.
Exactly.
Right? Okay, so this is something that I grow a lot of myself as a former farmer, and certainly as an avid backyard gardener, and growing as much food as I can.
Sure.
Onions. They're in every single bed that I have.
I mean, think about that. I mean, almost every savory dish that I've ever used, it starts with onions, garlic, your mirepoix, I mean, everything. Stocks, all our broths, soups, everything would be non-existent without that.
Yeah, so we got to make sure
Oh yeah.
people are getting this message.
No more gumbo. My eyes are sort of just starting to spin a little bit because we're getting into sections that obviously almost every single thing we know of. We've got broccoli right here.
The broccoli itself, the part that we like to eat the most,
florets, yeah.
is actually the flower.
That is the flower. That's
right. So again, let's take this snapshot here. We got
Oh, yeah.
watermelon, we've got cantaloupe, we've got tomatoes,
Honeydew over there.
honeydew, and grapefruit, and poof.
Gone.
You remove all this, and you got a blank slate here. That makes it tough to shop.
Oh yeah.
The fruits and vegetables you grew up on, the same foods your parents and their parents spoke so fondly of, 100 of the most common table names in America make up a market of some $15 billion, virtually all of it under direct threat.
I know nuts have been a big topic, obviously directly affected as well. That's raw cashews, and then we also have almonds.
And then, of course, everybody knows sunflowers.
Oil, too. We're not just talking about the nuts. I mean, all the oils for salad dressings.
Those are gone without the honeybee.
This whole section right here again.
Any department we walk into, if you walk into grocery, meat department, you're going to see animals there that don't survive without some of the grains that are dependent upon the bee.
And the alfalfa.
The alfalfa and the other grasses.
Yep.
So there's another one. So when you pick up a box of cereal like this, do you think honeybee?
No, you don't.
Most people don't.
Can't help but keep looking ahead. We got potato chips all along this aisle as well.
The potato itself has a beautiful flour on it. What's the oil?
Peanut oil.
Peanut oil.
Yeah.
All right, this one's fried in sunflower oil.
There you go.
So, not only the
We have
potato
those
itself,
in here. Yeah.
but the oil that they're cooked with.
Sure. I mean, this list goes on and on and on and on.
Yeah, and we've barely shopped.
Oh, this is
We're just scratching the surface.
That's it.
And the cart's almost full.
just passing some juices, which obviously are directly affected as well, but then we're getting a little closer to our frozen food section.
Sugar. You
Right.
can't have sugar without the honeybee. There's black cherries in here, cherry juice, choke cherry juice, elderberry juice.
This is just literally the tip here.
So empty this cart if we don't take care of the beehives. It's really critical that everybody, beyond consumers, understands this connection.
I really appreciate your time today.
Yeah, it was my pleasure.
I'd like to keep stressing is just this is just the tip. Now let's go pay for this.
By the middle of the 21st century, it may be written that it was in the late 20th century when the hard-working honeybee, Apis mellifera, began to die off, leaving humans and grazing animals only a few mosses and lichens to eat.
Without the bees, there's no Dave. Without Dave, there's no bees. Without that relationship, there's no John and John's farm, and then we don't have the wonderful orchards and the apples. They're doing something that demands attention. They're doing something that is for their survival. I'm definitely teaching my boys respect for the farmer. It's about respect for the crop and its cycle, where the bees play into that. Well, guys, today we're gonna make
Apple pie.
But what kind of apple pie?
Fried apple pie.
Oh yeah, we love it fried, don't we? All right, pick your apple, your favorite apple. We have Golden Delicious and we have Gala.
Delicious. What
These are
about the yellow one?
Yeah, that's the Golden Delicious. So grab your peeler and let's start peeling, okay? These apples are currently, right now in the springtime, they're in full bloom. The apple orchards that we went to visit in Pennsylvania have beautiful flowers. The bees love them, right?
Right.
And they go from flower to flower and they bring the pollen around. And when the bees do that, we bear fruit.
What kind of apples did you see on the farm?
You know, we saw a lot of Golden Delicious, which is this variety right here, and we saw a couple of crab apples. Mr. John, the farmer, his favorite apple is this apple right here, which was the Gala. So in the meantime, I'm gonna start cutting this, and we're gonna start making our filling for our apple pie, okay? What do you think we should put in our apple pie spice-wise? How about some cinnamon?
All right.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Give that a smell. Cinnamon also
What are
has to do,
these?
this is nutmeg. We
Like,
take the nutmeg and we're gonna grate it real fine on the microplane with the grater. So in the meantime, I'm gonna go ahead and start cutting these large dice. We're just gonna add just a few things to this, a little bit of sugar. And the other thing about cooking with sugar, you always wanna taste your fruit ahead of time to see how sweet it is already. Because apples have different sweetnesses, right?
I can smell this.
Isn't it very floral? It's sweet, isn't it? You can smell the sugar, can't you? Go ahead and try one of the cut ones that I did. Is it sweet? Is it sour? Can you almost taste flowers? Is it very floral?
Right in the middle.
Right in the middle, so it's balanced. Yeah, great. And it's okay to mix these apples. So if you like Galas, if you like Pink Ladies, if you like Empires, if you like Golden Delicious, if you like Granny Smith, they all are gonna do different things, but we can mix them. We're just gonna go ahead and sprinkle in our sugar, okay? We're gonna put a little bit of cornstarch, and that's gonna help bind our filling and make it sort of thick when it starts to cook on the pan. And then we're gonna add a little bit of apple juice. And that's just gonna add a nice thick juice to that. We're gonna go ahead and do our spices now, okay? That's our nutmeg right there. We're just gonna grate it nice and fine with the microplane. You see that? It's a nut. Smell that. It smells good, doesn't it? I love nutmeg. My great aunt used to make all her apple pies with nutmeg. We're gonna grate a little bit of the cinnamon.
Can I do it?
All right, so that's it. We've got about 4 or 5 ingredients here. It's real simple. Mix that together a little bit so they all coat each other. Check it out. Doesn't that look nice? We're gonna go ahead and put it on our pan and saute it with some butter, okay?
Okay.
We've got a nice hot pan already, guys. We're gonna add a little pat of butter. You don't have to melt it all the way. We'll just coat the pan. And go ahead and grab all the apples and go ahead and put that in there for me. Good job, all the way. See, it's important to have a hot pan, all right? So we're gonna cook that for a few minutes just till the apples become a little soft. So in the meantime, while we're heating up our hot pot of peanut oil, we've chilled our apple filling.
Okay.
We're gonna go ahead and start stuffing our pies.
All right.
So I've already pre-rolled a little of these out. This is our pie dough. We've made just a standard pie dough with a little bit of shortening, a little bit of butter. I want you to go ahead and roll this out a little bit, Spencer. Okay? You don't want to roll them out too thin. Go ahead and just take a little spoon of this filling, our apple filling. You're gonna fold that down and just crimp it, just like that, and create a seal. And then we're gonna take a fork and we're gonna press it to make a little crimp, okay? Just to make sure that the dough is connected to the other dough. All right, go ahead and fold it over. Kemp, go ahead and do your crimp. Good job, Spencer. Have you done this before?
Yes.
Yes, you have, haven't you? Oh, yeah. You ready to put these in the fryer? All right,
I
so
can't fork it.
go ahead and get Kemp's fork.
Can I do it again?
Sure, of course. Go ahead and do another filling. Now, it's important that we stuff these when the apples are cold, so we gotta give them some time in the refrigerator, about 30 to 45 minutes, okay? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and check our oil. We're at 360 degrees, it's perfect temperature. Let's get these guys to the fryer. What do you think?
Yeah.
They fry up in about 2 to 3 minutes.
Is the pie ready yet?
I think they are. Let's give it a shot. All right, guys, last one's coming out of the oil right now. Ooh, I don't know if I can wait. What do you think, Spencer?
Awesome. Awesome. Delightful.
So we're gonna plate these pies up, and I'm gonna put a little powdered sugar. What do you think it needs, Kemp? Something else?
Fresh mint.
All right. Spencer, what do you think? What else do we need to put with this?
Ice cream.
Oh, all right, let's get that then.
Ice cream.
Oh yeah,
Only ice
we
cream.
all scream, don't we?
Yeah.
That's right. All right, so I'm gonna scoop a little bit of this.
I'll scream for ice cream.
You know the song. So this is our Honeybee vanilla. Do a little scoop of that. Can't have apple pie without ice cream, can you?
No.
There you go. So there's our individual hand pies with our Honeybee ice cream. What do y'all think?
Can I have it? Awesome.
Can you have it? Sure you
Do you
can have
have
it.
a taste?
Oh yeah. Go ahead and try the pie.
I'll take this one.
Take a little
I'll
nibble.
take this one. Awesome.
How would you share some with your old man? It's hard to beat that, isn't it? Good job. Good job.
Can we go out in the garden and plant some flowers for the bees?
Sure. Let's do that. All right, guys, let's get outside. Let's grab our tools. So we can do our tomatoes. We can do,
Carrots.
you want to do some carrots too? So you see these beautiful flowers right here? That's the kind of thing that these bees are gonna love. They're gonna come here. Even the rosemary has a nice pretty flower too. So anytime we have something with a flower, we can attract bees. So these are the kind of things that we like to do here, that we can always welcome the bees into our backyard in our neighborhood, right? Because you know, down there when we have our peppers, they've got a little white flower going on right now. It's always a good sign when we have flowers in the spring. Flowers mean?
Bees.
Right. And bees mean everything.
Pollination.
Pollination. That's right. Bees mean pollination, which means fruit.
Let's do this big tomato one here.
All right, let's put that guy right here so he doesn't get too lonely.
All right. So he's next to his friend.
That's right, his buddy.
There's a wormy.
There's a worm. That's a good sign. What else we have to give to these tomatoes? A little
Sunshine. Love.
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 That's right. A little water, a little love
In the soil.
in the soil.
Then we're gonna eat them all up. Let's do some of the sunflowers.
We can do that. Well, look what we have here too. We have a squash plant.
Ooh.
What do you think about the squash?
Okay.
What do we know about squash? Don't squash plants have flowers too?
Yes, they do.
All right. What do flowers mean?
Seed. Bees.
Bees. That's right. Flowers mean bees. So a lot of people don't always think about herbs being bee friendly and help to feed the bees, but they are. Anything that has a flower is going to produce a nice sweet nectar inside, and that's what the bees love to eat, right?
They love to eat nectar.
They do. Nectar, nectar. You like sugar too, don't you? You like sugar, Spencer? You like sweet stuff?
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the bees.
And in the Pilgrims' days, if they didn't have bees, they couldn't make cake, sugar, because honey was the sugar.
That's right, it was a sweetener. You're right. Can you imagine if we didn't have apples in your lunchbox when we go to school? Can you imagine if we didn't have apples to eat with our peanut butter toast in the morning?
No.
It'd be crazy, wouldn't it? I can't believe it. The bees mean everything. Bringing back my experience from the farm and telling them the stories and having them draw their own conclusions and sort of see how the full cycle goes around. It's the whole respect for the sort of all the connections from farm to table. You know, that's huge.